Be true to you. Come to the truth of yourself. Navigate according to your inner alignment. Be you means follow what is inside. This presentation is entitled Be True to You. It means, in short, be aware of what is inside. Be in relationship first and foremost with oneself. Make you your priority, your number one relationship, because you live with yourself 24/7. You and you are always together. We travel to a room and are born. Breathing on our own begins, as does our human lifetime. We live as separate physical forms. Our mind operates invisibly within our form. We take in sights, smells, sounds, oxygen, information, and textile experiences. This is all done solely as individuals. We go to sleep alone. We miraculously wake from sleep alone. We are an entity unto ourselves amidst invaluable relationships we depend on for our survival, growth, and social needs. When life is not experienced as one's own reflection, when life is not satisfying, one realizes change is necessary and possible. This presentation is for those who feel the inner need for change. It is not an orientation towards self-criticism. It is a recognition that one has been living according to the values, wishes, lifestyle, and/or beliefs of others, rather than those of oneself. Do you have an inkling that this is true for you? That you have made choices that please others rather than yourself? If so, how have these choices worked out? Where do we make choices from? Trial and error, experience, and inexperience. How are your choices working? Where do you feel satisfied? Where do you experience dissatisfaction? Are you in a place of wanting change, inner change? Are you ready? Are you realizing and expressing that your situation, whatever that may be, is not working, that you are not happy, not aligned with some aspects of your life? You may be aware of this, speaking about this, yet you are still living it. Or perhaps you've woken up one morning with no expectation, yet you find yourself finished, done, saying goodbye to whatever is not working in your life. You've reached that point. It was the next footstep you suddenly found yourself taking and ready for. So when we wake up in the morning, we have a sense of meaning. What is our life about? And where are we going when we wake up, when we get out of bed? Where are we headed? And we're most likely going in the direction of what matters to us, our responsibilities, what's important, what we care about, what we value. And from this, we take on a purpose. And through this purpose, we start making and having accomplishments. We accomplish little things and many little things and some big things, medium-sized things. And this purpose culminates into a contribution of some kind. And hopefully there's some orientation around a benefit. So through this meaning, through this purpose, and through this contribution, our life is reflecting something inside of us. And we have to know ourselves inside to find that meaning, that purpose, and that contribution. And sometimes we don't know it. Sometimes it hasn't been the process we've been through in our growing up, where that has been very clear and very solid for us. There's a lot of conditioning. There's a lot of guidance, not necessarily towards who you are and what is inside you and what your capacities are. Hello, my name is Yamah Goodman. My life experience has been one of learning who I am, learning to find and follow my inner knowing. During a divorce, I felt a great need for inner change. I began seeking support for processing what was going on. I then began pursuing what mattered and how I could contribute in those areas of life. Eventually, I began creating a lifestyle that truly supported the person I was discovering myself to be, rather than the lifestyle my decisions in my marriage had led me into. I had made those decisions based on what my family and my husband wanted, not what I knew I wanted. It was a conscious decision. I remember it very well. And I felt that since they wanted something else, I should try it their way. And if it didn't work, I would move away. And basically, that's what played out. In time, I left the marriage and I moved in my own directions. It seemed like a mountain range of territory within to be traversed. And that mountain range that you see there is also shows time, years and decades. Embarking upon this territory, I found three main pillars over time that began and continue to support me on my journey to living and knowing myself more deeply and clearly than my early life allowed. These three pillars are yoga and meditation, healing foods, and Vedic astrology. They are the means by which I have created clarity and stability. I've become free of emotional pain, which was underlying an eating disorder, and I've become self-regulated. My appetite, my satiation, and my body weight are stable and normal, not excessive or obsessive or never ending or out of control. I now have the opportunity to fulfill my responsibilities. I now enjoy myself as I evolve closer and closer to my true inner nature. Claiming oneself by claiming one's body awareness through the practice of yoga. Claiming oneself by forming a harmonious relationship with truly healthy food, where correct eating corrects physical and emotional dysfunctions and imbalance, allowing the body's inborn design to function as the physician within, which means healing when healing is needed, cleansing when cleansing is needed, detoxifying when toxins build up. Claiming oneself by the planet's placements seen in the Vedic birth chart. Creating fluency in the language, the science, and understanding of the planet's placements of this life's karmas can be seen in the Vedic birth chart. I began practicing yoga in 1994 and I started teaching in 1996. I learned to meditate when I was 17. I've had different periods of concentrated practice via varying meditation techniques. Through yoga practice, one's physical awareness grows. One learns to stretch and spread their toes, the way they stretch and spread their fingers. One also learns to stretch and spread their heels, spread the buttock bones, expand the chest, freeing the spine to extend longer and longer. Physical space for the organs and bones is created. Inner space is revealed, creating a quiet, peaceful presence. When I started doing yoga, I had been running 7 days a week. I realized it was a much better workout to do yoga, healthier for my spine versus pounding the pavement daily. When I started doing yoga, the poses were challenging in an inspiring way. They were doable. I was stimulated by the new positions. It seemed every part of my body had a role. Each part was being asked to do something specific. For instance, lifting the rib cage away from the pelvis, lifting each rib from the one below, lifting the back ribs. The more detailed instructions made my attention move inward. I began to focus, concentrate. Specific instructions. Press the outer edge of the foot into the earth. This focuses the mind, brings one inward, body and mind listening, coordinating, collaborating. This creates an enhancement of being in, knowing, and using the body. Life sometimes has a way of tossing and churning, as though one were in a storm at sea. Practicing yoga puts you in your body, grounds you. The experience of being the captain of the ship, directing, navigating your journey. People come out of yoga class smiling, feeling better than when they went in. It's because when we focus, our attention is no longer on the troubling issues we may have been carrying when we came to class. By concentrating on moving specific body parts in specific ways, one cannot think about anything else. This gives a break from the merry-go-round mindset we create, indulge, and fall into around stressful problems. Bodies like to move. They like to be engaged. Muscles like to be exercised. You can notice a more alive, awake, happier energy in someone who uses their body regularly. The connectivity between mind and body improves. There is a more awake energy flowing through them. It's the difference between a fresh flower and one that is losing its vibrancy. The more we move on a regular basis, the happier the body functions and more vibrant we become. Pillar number 2, food as medicine. I've been practicing macrobiotic healing foods diet for close to 14 years. In less than a year, my ulcerative colitis healed. I had a decades-long eating disorder, which also healed. I now have stable self-regulation of my appetite, my satiation level, and my body weight is stable. These are significant results of my eating macrobiotic foods, healing I could not accomplish on my own. As for food, most of us do not know how to eat. If one observes the amount of disease, if one observes the amount of chemical farming, if one observes the amount of desserts, snacks, processed boxed food found in groceries, if one observes the amount of people living in overweight and obese bodies, one can conclude most of us do not know how to eat. Eating supports the body's built-in position to function optimally. Have you been working on parts of yourself and not getting the results you desire? If so, you may want to consider a century-old plant-based healing system that includes only foods that are the pH of the body, which is 7 to 10 pH. These foods allow the body to immediately go to work, eliminating stored excesses and toxins, revitalizing the organs. I find I now I found when I started that I now had foods that could truly support my day-to-day experience. It's like when two puzzle pieces fit into one another. That's the kind of support I felt from my food. I lost excess weight I had tried to lose on my own. I never gained it back. My food was satisfying. My body was changing, purging itself of what was unwanted, unneeded. I began to feel more and more like my true self, like my true body. That was 14 years ago and continues to this day. A note from a macrobiotic counselor named David Briscoe. Remember, you are the artist of your own blood quality. Your cells, tissues, organs, and body systems all come from your blood. Your blood quality will determine their quality. Your blood comes from your food. Therefore, the quality of your food will determine the quality of your blood. These are some conditions that have healed macrobiotic, that have healed via macrobiotic eating. Schizophrenia, heart disease, obesity, gout, uterine cancer, breast cancer, ulcerative colitis, eating disorders, urinary infection, warts, insomnia, sciatica, fatigue, chronic lower back and hip pain. Mental clarity is improved, as is the ability to think, peace of mind, and calmness of soul. I must include macrobiotic healing foods. They have been as effective as yoga, or even more effective in my healing to date, if not the most effective modality I have practiced. They heal not only on a physical level, but also mentally and emotionally. I invite you to explore this healing foods method. You will be given the time and the steps that you can take at your own pace, according to your priorities and needs that you feel you can manage. It's a big thing to start changing your food. And so you do it as you're ready in your own way and time to a certain extent. If you don't really do it, it's not going to really work. So the best thing to do is to do it all the way and see the results. They'll start immediately. Otherwise, it's not going to show up and you're not going to know why you're eating this way. Pillar number 3, Vedic astrology birth chart. I've been studying Vedic astrology for nearly 11 years. Understanding planets and their placements in my birth chart has explained questions about myself I previously had no answer for. One's birth chart is a map, a blueprint of you, of your life. When you know how to read and speak this language, you will see yourself and your life in your chart. Like a photograph, the chart shows timings for events and portrays situations you have and will encounter. When one enters a dark room, one bumps into whatever is hidden in the darkness. When the light is turned on, one sees and can navigate. One is no longer blinded by the lack of light. The Sanskrit word for Vedic astrology is Jyotish. Jyoti means light. Jyotish is the science of light, being able to see, understand. Through reading my Vedic birth chart, I'm able to see where my passion for justice comes from, why I have my antenna out for the downtrodden, where my nurturing nature is derived. My birth family situation is explained, as is my caregiving for people and animals, plus my cultivation of conflict resolution skills, and why my spiritual experience is so important to me. Your Vedic birth chart reveals the nature of your body, your physical health, your personality and character, one's values, one's family, one's speech, one's capacity to research, one's technical skills, one's management skills, one's communication skills. What one does for recreation is shown in your chart. One's level of inner peace can be detected and explained. One's mother, one's vehicles, real estate is seen. One's creativity, one's relationship with children, and romance and sex is seen. Whether one will be required to do a lot of labor or service, whether one will be involved with animals. One's enemies are seen, as is conflict. One's health is seen. Partnerships of all kinds are seen. Marriage partner is seen. Romance is seen. Work partners are also seen. Career is seen. Levels of education. One's father, one's husband, one's religiosity, one's spirituality, whether teachers play a role in your life. One's status in life is seen, as are one's gains. Loss, delay, bed pleasures, hospitalization, prison, and one's relation to foreign places and people can be seen. Your Vedic birth chart also reveals conflict and conflict resolution, illness and health, labor, service to others, other people, partnerships, marriage, transformation, extremes, accidents, occult, inheritance, debt, taxes, beliefs, religion, spirituality, status in life, ashrams, emancipation, and foreign travel. Understanding relationships. Your placement of your planets will show the nature of your relationships: family, spouse, partner, siblings, offspring, mother, friend, father, business partners, teachers, animals. Understanding life's events. What forces manifest a move overseas or cross country, interaction with foreigners, educational endeavors, a long-lasting marriage, one's profession, intellectual, artistic, creative capacities. What forces prioritize food and aesthetics and financial success? What forces show transformation, fame, surgeries, hospitalization, accidents, loss, money made, money saved, money inherited or borrowed? If you are experiencing any of these difficulties, making choices that please others rather than yourself, unhappy with aspects of your life, struggling with issues around food, overactive appetite, excessive body weight, disturbed digestion, emotional turmoil, knowing you need to make internal changes which lead you to a meaningful purpose and meaningful contribution, reluctance to go for your passion. Since we are born with these karmic traits, wouldn't it be useful to know about them? It can be helpful to understand why you or others have a tendency towards depression, anxiety, laziness, creativity, solitude, meditation, entrepreneurial, athletics, yoga, why you are good at technical skills, art, performance art, math, science, writing, management. Do you have harsh speech? Do you have eloquent speech? Are you impatient, compulsive, aggressive? Are you self-centered? Are you empathetic? Do you experience infidelity? Do you have a loyal partner? Do you experience substance abuse? Are you health-oriented? Do you have a strong body, a weak body, or a beautiful body? Vedic astrology is much like the human body. It's very sophisticated and complex. It's very structured and layered and interrelated, a complete system within itself, mystical. It is the journey of becoming the artist of living one's unique life. When you view your life in this way, you realize you are both the art form and the artist. The painting is ongoing, unfinished. There is much to chip away at. Nothing is set in stone. Change is possible. Transformation is possible. It's up to you. Working with the body, working with food, which influences all of you, seeing and understanding the roadmap of this lifetime are all ways of supporting your sense of identity, your groundedness and awareness of yourself, understanding what is what and why things have been as they are, then and now. Just as there is so much unseen, unknown going on in the forest, so too with human beings. When we find ourselves in the midst of life changes, we begin to delve more deeply into our inner landscapes. We learn to feel, we learn to find, feel, and listen to our bodies. Bodies record everything we've ever experienced. Somatic experiencing becomes a very useful tool for attending to that forest we find within, navigating twists and turns, perhaps following a new path. To find that new meadow, that new ridge, that opportune setting which lends itself to our resetting, a deeper, richer inner alignment with our core values, our aspirations, our inspirations. Healing lifestyle practice pillars, yoga, macrobiotics, Vedic astrology, is the course I am offering that may meet your needs, similarly to how my needs were met. I invite you to explore this more deeply with me in a one-on-one call or a Zoom meeting, where you can look at where you are and how that is for you, where you can look at where you would like to be. We can discuss if these three pillars sound like avenues that support that within you that seeks change, growth. I appreciate your listening. I appreciate your attention on yourself. I look forward to meeting those of you who find yourself resonating with the areas of yoga, healing foods, and planetary forces, who may consider letting these into your life as supports for the change you are in touch with. Please click on the link at the bottom of this page to schedule a one-on-one call with me. Could this three-pronged healing lifestyle program lead to the healing you are longing for?